chick ass, and I'm all out of puppy.
Well, buckos. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the bloviating Zeppelins Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct on the SHR Media Network, where I broadcast behind enemy lines in occupied California. I am 2 miles from the locus of evil on the entire left coast, the Bill Mill, the capital of the state of California, Sacramento. At night, the noxious vapors, the sulfur, the brimstone overcomes everyone as the devil incarnate raises up from the depths underneath the Capitol. You got a belly up to the bar. We've kept your seat, and it's great to see you back. Angel is going to be your bartender tonight. She pours with the best of them, and the lava lamp is in feet lighted. To my left, to your right, that means that you can be listening on shrmedia.com and chatting at shrmedia.com. You can also be watching on the SHR Media Facebook page and also the SHR Media YouTube channel. We don't water our drinks just like we don't water a conversation. Politics, religion, crime, culture, economics, race, sex, science, law. We talk about it all here at the Saloon. Nothing is sacred. The speech is free. But the booze is not. All we ask is that you flush the toilet, jiggle the handle. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of May, year of our Lord 2018. And tonight, at about quarter after, we're going to have the East Coast political goddess on again tonight, Kari Baxter Donovan. And I'm sure she's got lots of good buttery political stuff to talk about. She writes at populistwire.com. When she's here, we'll talk more to her. I have a little bit of a special introduction for her that unfortunately, at this point in the phone system, I don't think she's going to hear, but you will be able to hear it as her introduction. Let's get right to the crux of the biscuit, the meat of the matter. I have another article by Kurt Schlichter. It was written a day ago, and it's called, "If You Want to Stop Liberal Bullying, Start by Telling Them to Buzz Off." And it goes like this. Thanks, Kurt. Well, not buzz, but you get the point. We're experiencing an epidemic of liberals trying to push us around. And since life is really just high school, except with older and stupider people, schoolyard rules apply. So when someone tries to bully you, you smack them hard, right in the Pelosi. That's what we need to do. To the liberals, when they form their creepy little social media lynch mobs. This nonsense about cowering and apologizing and begging for forgiveness from these petty tyrants needs to stop. Besides being undignified and shameful, submission just encourages them. Take whoever Shania Twain is. I understand she was once a country singer. Apparently her image is calculated to project some sort of inoffensive, non-threatening girl power vibe. You know, the kind of tedious you go girl empowerment affirmation that temporarily eases the pain of its adherents' lonely, cat-filled lives. Sorry. We don't need a man when we have you, Mr. Whiskers. Anyway, Shania recently manifested the awesome power of girlhood when liberals complained that she dared to say something that offended them. She said she would have voted for Trump if she wasn't the one foreigner in America who didn't vote. Basically, she said she was like 43% of Americans, and that's far too extreme to be tolerated by the Twitter Gestapo. She surrendered and submitted to their wrath, groveling for forgiveness. Yeah, well, okay, sure, she's Canadian, but that's really no excuse. Call it girl powerlessness. So they claimed her flowing brunette scalp. They cowed her and moved on to other conquests, but a whole bunch of her fans now think she's a girl wimp. She alienated the people who actually liked her music to please a bunch of hipster doofuses and trendy internet scribblers who wouldn't listen to her records if they were recorded on the last vinyl on earth. Then contrast that capitulation with the righteous resistance of someone named Kanye West, who is no relation to Adam West, though that would be the coolest thing ever. Now, I'm not familiar with him or his avoir because I essentially, meaning Kurt Schlichter, I essentially stopped listening to new music in 1987 when the Replacements released their last really great album. Pleased to meet me, but Kanye West seems to be very, very popular with the kids. So he has some cultural heat. And when he decided to dissent, the Fahrenheit 451 fire people knew they had to light that fire, but quick. Kanye said in a tweet that he approved of Candace Owens, and the enraging commenced. Now, I met Candace at CPAC, and she is an impressive lady who doesn't take a lot of shiff. As a woman and a black conservative, she's targeted for all sorts of grief. But she fights back by fearlessly asserting the founder's vision of personal freedom and personal responsibility as an antidote to the poison of the Demorat party. Naturally, this makes her hated by all the people you would be proud to be hated by. Kanye seems to like her message, so he tweeted nice things about her and her ideas, and all hell broke loose. And Kanye West, seeing the outraged response by the professional outragers, did what any free American citizen would do and doubled down. Then he tripled down, berating these petty fascists for their mindless lockstep conformity. See, he's willing to do and say what he damn well pleases, and anyone who doesn't like it can buzz off. Well, not buzz. That's how we all need to do it in our everyday lives. So many times people are getting called racist or sexist or some other stupid slander, and it's all baloney, but for whatever reason, some people feel compelled to apologize and grovel when they say something other people don't like. Never apologize to liberals. It's a sign of weakness. Liberals wield shame as cultural mace to pummel others into conformity. Most people are weak, and most people will conform. This goes triple for liberals. SJWs, those are social justice warriors, are happy to eat their own if there are no normals around to feed on. Liberals are human sheep when they aren't going full lemming. Never go full lemming. Americans are vulnerable because they don't like giving offense when they can help it. They're not at the Canadian level of wussiness, but they're generally nice and polite people. That must change. We must actively give offense. We must confront liberals' stupid, poisonous ideas at every turn, viciously and without remorse. It's about time that our default response change from, "I'm sorry I gave offense," to, "You're an idiot for being offended and get out of my face before I slug you." We need more Kanyes and fewer Shanias, more people willing to stand up to the slobbering pack of Twitter social justice geebos who have achieved nothing in life except to humiliate a few weak-hearted pushovers. They're bad people. These are bad people. And you empower them when you treat them like anything other than the garbage people they are. Don't like what I say? Don't like what I think? Don't like what I write? Don't like what I tweet? Good. The only thing I'm sorry about is that I haven't said more things you don't like. So buzz off. Well, not buzz. Now is an article by Kurt Schlichter. And the reason I tend to continue reading Kurt is for the obvious reason that he and I have a hell of a lot in common. Kurt is a busy dude. I swear to God, I'm going to get him on the show one day. But he says the exact same kind of stuff that I've been saying for quite some time. And that's why on my blog, bloviatingzeppelin.net, I specifically write, I am pushback. Because that's what I do. That's how I exist. I'm not here to be conciliatory to leftists. This show doesn't exist to be fair and balanced. Fuck fair and balanced. Oh, I'm sorry. That's another 25 cents in the hat. If you didn't listen last Thursday, I'm trying to stop saying bad words because I only say bad words when I'm trying to emphasize something. And unfortunately, apparently, I was trying to emphasize something there. People have said in the past, then they've sent me emails saying, BZ, you know, I like your show. Just kind of tone it down a little bit. Okay. All right. Let me throw this out there. I sent out 2 polls today, one in Facebook and in the other one in Twitter. Now, considering the temper of the times and the tempestuous, whichever way Twitter happens to be moving at the time, well, here's one good thing that is in my favor. I don't have a billion Twitter followers, and I don't have a billion Facebook fans, so pretty much at this point I can say whatever I want, and they're not killing me yet. Maybe having no followers and nobody who really gives a crap about me, maybe it's good because I'm still on Twitter and I'm still on Facebook. However, saying that, I put a poll out on both places today, and I wanted to ask this question. Everyone knows that Jersey Joe has decided to give up his show for a while, and he was in the previously, the now unoccupied slot of, let's see, I got to work this out in my brain housing group. He starts at 6 p.m. Pacific and goes to 8 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Well, he's not there. He's not occupying that slot. Whether or not he comes back, I don't know. Oh, excuse my rudeness. Hello to Traveling Cynic in chat. Hello to Mike in chat. Hello to Whiskey Dale in chat. And hello to me in chat, which may oddly enough be me because I haven't signed into chat roll yet. Oh, and Whiskey Dale. Okay. I did go back. All right. Here, this is Kari Baxter Donovan. She's calling in. So let's pot her up for a second. First, Kari, number one, thank you for being on the show tonight. And let's make sure the phone works and I can hear you.
Are you talking to me yet?
I am. I'm talking to you yet.
Oh. You kind of trailed off. Thank you for letting me be on your show and talk to you.
Okay. All right. So first, I just wanted to make sure that we can hear you and the sound levels are okay. Because you're going to have to listen to this. You're not going to be able to hear this over the phone because our phone system is just kind of weird these days.
All right.
But you can listen to this in retrospect because I have an intro song for you. And this will be about,
you do?
Oh, yeah, this will be about 41 seconds or so. And so I'm going to go back and hear, folks, live tonight in the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon is none other than the East Coast political goddess, Kari Baxter Donovan.
I can hear you humming. That will be fun. I'll have to make sure I go back and hear what you have dubbed on me. Hopefully it's something good.
Of course it is. Now we've got cartoon characters jumping out.
Oh, awesome.
And with that, we have Kari Baxter Donovan in the house. I just had to play that. Anyway, Kari Baxter Donovan, I'm glad that I played that. Now, you are an author at populistwire.com, and I've got some of your articles up. When is it anymore that there isn't something amazing or ridiculously stupid or brain-glazingly ridiculous everything? There's news every day. Again, this is a 38-tab show, and just like other BZ shows, I won't get but to 10 of them. And I always line up, it's always good to have more stuff than not. In any event, where do we start? Now, your most recent articles, and because whenever I have guests on, first let's start at the start. Tell us where you can be found on social media, and I already mentioned populistwire.com, but where are some of the other places that you may write and where people can find you on social media?
Well, so mostly I spend most of my writing time at Populist Wire and on and off at Big League Politics.
Okay.
So I had one article this week, and then I had a really long article I wrote about the Chamber of Commerce that's coming out sometime soon over at Big League Politics. Depending upon what's going on and what they need. I love both of them, but most of my articles are over at Populist Wire. But you can find me, of course, interacting with the public on Twitter at Happit, Happit 1776.
Okay.
And on Facebook, Kari Baxter Donovan.
Okay.
And that's what I mostly do. Those, between those four places.
Cool. Now, already there's a question in chat. And Whiskey Dale, oddly enough, Whiskey Dale has said,
Yay!
Let's start with, what whiskey has she had lately? So let's start with that. What whiskey have you had lately, Kari Baxter Donovan?
Yeah, well, I have to check in with you. So I went on this wonderful bourbon club tour over at my country club over here, and they put out an amazing spread of food that blew my mind away. But the whiskey that they had mostly was Bullet. They had Bullet bourbon and Bullet rye, which I've had the rye before. I'm sure I've had the bourbon, but I can't remember. But it was wonderful. And with the food that they had, it was like a beautiful day on a golf course, and they had all this fantastic food. And I fell in love with bourbon with Bullet bourbon.
Okay. Now, is that named after Frank Bullitt, who was the inspector for SFPD in 1968?
No, it goes back further than that. And the guy was giving the history, but it was like pre-Civil War, I thought.
Really?
I'll have to go look it up.
Okay, well then maybe Frank Bullitt was named after the bourbon because he had such a cool car. He had the 1968 Highland Green Ford Mustang in that great movie.
Stop. I love that car. Great.
Yeah, against the 1968 black Dodge Charger, which was driven by Bill Hickman. Okay, stop. Just a little bit of insight. Bill Hickman was a stunt driver, and I met him in San Francisco many years later. He was a great guy. He did the chase scene. He was actually driving. When you see the driver of the Dodge Charger, that's actually Bill Hickman himself. He did all the driving in the Dodge Charger. He did the driving.
That name sounds
He did the driving in the French Connection. He did the driving in the 7-Ups. He did some driving in the movie Patton. An excellent, excellent driver. Now, the guy who drove the Mustang, when Steve McQueen overshoots the corner in San Francisco, that's actually Steve McQueen overshooting the corner. The guys, I should say, there were three guys who drove the Mustang. One was Kerry Lofton, a second guy whose name escapes me, and McQueen was in there for a couple of shots. But the bulk of the driving was done by Kerry Lofton, another stunt driver. Great movie, great chase scene. So Bullet Whiskey. Now, if I decide tomorrow when I say, hey, after speaking to Kari Baxter Donovan, BZ says, I want to go out and I want to get some Bullet bourbon. What can you expect to get a bottle for, roughly?
See, now I have to get better about the price. I don't know. I just drink it. I don't buy it.
You don't buy it. You just make it by osmotic processes.
I'm a girl. Girls don't buy their whiskey. They just drink the whiskey. I have no idea. I'm going to guess a bottle will go for, okay, let me think.
30?
Conversations that I've had.
30?
Click, clack, click. I'm going to guess
35?
$60. 60?
60? 60?
60-ish?
Oh, holy
60-ish?
mother of God. I didn't know you were talking that kind of cash.
I had one that was more expensive than that. I think it was called Dickies or something, and people were saying that one was more expensive, and I couldn't even finish it. It didn't taste very good, and I said, no, I'm not even going to drink this,
Okay.
which means it was really bad. I couldn't even drink it. But I don't know how much it costs.
Okay. Now,
I should really, if I'm going to present myself as this, whiskey connoisseur, I should probably get up on my game on that a little bit.
Okay, but you just made a startling revelation to me, and I should have realized it at the beginning. Okay, I grok the concept that you don't have to pay for your whiskey or any other things that you happen to buy.
Or anything else I want,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, I get that. Now, that's a great job if you can get it. So, having said that, now I understand where that comes from. Now, in let's see, in chat now, Whiskey Dale says.
Wait, can I add something there? Can I add something there for a moment?
Oh, hell yeah!
That's why I say. Okay. That's why I say. Listen, American women, we are so spoiled. We have the best job in the entire history of the world. You can go nowhere and find anybody who has it better than an American woman because we get pretty much everything we want. So you know, I appreciate it. And I appreciate it a lot too. I just want to tell you.
And well, you should, after all, right? Let's see, in chat now, Whiskey Dale had another question. Whiskey Dale said, hey, what about Buffalo Trace whiskey? Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, well, that's my standard favorite.
Oh, that is? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is my standard favorite. I do like that. And I do believe I have to go back, and I'll have to tell on myself now. I think I might have even bought my own bottle once on my way to a GOP convention. Don't tell anyone.
Wait a minute.
I had to fill up my flask. Those things can get very long and boring.
No.
Okay? And so
you had to fill up your own bottle? Oh,
I know. Can you believe that? There was no gentleman around to fill up my flask for me. I had to do it on my own, like changing a tire. I was really put off, but I still drew through. I did it. It was good.
That's sad.
Buffalo Trace. That's my favorite. Stand by. Yes.
How sad.
Well, I don't always have a traveling flask filler, but maybe when I start getting paid for my articles, I'll be able to hire one.
Well, if you can get away with not paying for anything and being an American woman, that's kind of like the best of all possible worlds, isn't it?
It is. That's why feminists, I just don't understand at all what they're ever talking about.
Yes.
I mean, I'm really perplexed by, when they start talking about things, it's confusing to me. Yeah. It's like, they're speaking a foreign language because truthfully, now I'm being absolutely sincere right now.
Okay.
American women, we have everything.
Well, why
we have everything we could need.
On the other hand, why shouldn't you? My wife is an American woman. I want to give her everything. Except
so she chose the right American man.
Some people say that some people want American women to stay away from them, but those are strange and odd ducks. And sometimes they write songs about them, and
sometimes they write songs. And songs are kind of catchy too.
The songs aren't very good. Whiskey Dale in chat also. Oh no! I'm sorry, my mistake. Traveling Cynic, the cynic who travels, says $30 whiskey is swill. Mm-hmm. So, big question. Big question.
There we go. We got a price.
Is $30 whiskey swill? It is. No, that's the question. I'm asking.
Now, well, that's going to be my new. That's going to be my new level. Of swill is going to be $30. Now I know. See, I'm going to learn from your guest.
Okay.
And thank goodness because I had no idea.
Okay, if it's that, and that's why you have to examine whatever it is that's given to you. And one of the first questions you have to say is, "Okay, how much did that cost?" And the guy comes back and says, "Well, that's $32." Well, dude, you're in the swill category. Move on.
You're swell.
Yeah, I want some Bullet or some Buffalo Trace whiskey. Okay, so that's
exactly, but Buffalo.
That's good to know because I can look back in chat here and I can see, okay, Bullet. I have to admit, this is me being upfront. BZ and whiskey, there's not a history with us. BZ has a history with, obviously, vodka, just on account of because that's the way it goes. And, Traveling Cynic also says, now, maybe you would recognize this. I have a bottle of Black Art here, 1990, says Traveling Cynic. Now, is that something you've heard of before? Black Art whiskey?
I have seen that. Have I shared with you the story about when I lived in Hollywood?
I don't think so because I want to hear a story about you.
This is a mature audience, right?
Yeah.
You want me to explain a fun story of? Okay, so there's a little bar down in what?
Listen, I already said fuck at the beginning of the show, so all hands are off.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so this story is going to be nothing for you.
Okay.
So I have seen a bottle of that because when I lived in Hollywood, I lived up a few streets from Sunset. There's a little bar on Sunset. You can look it up. I don't know if it's still there or not. But you can probably look up its history. It was called The Carriage House. And there was an older man who, at the time, I was in my early 20s, I think. And there was a man there who was much older than I. He had to have been 60 or 70 even. And he owned the bar, and it was called The Carriage House. And I would go in there, and it was all whiskeys. And he would say, go ahead and have whatever you want in this bar. It's on me, right? So I was like, well, hey, that's kind of cool. All right. And so I would hang out with him a little bit, and we would talk and whatever. And so one night he leans over to me. He says, hey, I just want to let you know, I know who you are. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Who do you think I am? It's Hollywood, of course, right?
All right. Who are you?
So he thinks that I'm a porno star. And I about fell off of my stool. I said, no, I told him, I'm not a porno star. I'm actually not a porno star because apparently in this bar, this is where a lot of porno stars went and hung out, called The Carriage House. Look it up. So he would give me this free whiskey, and then he'd say, hey, come on in, drink whatever you want. And at one point I felt like I was taking advantage of him because I would say, okay, and I would do that. But I had to admit to him, I'm not who you think I am. I'm not a porno star, okay? And his son, he had a son who was probably about, 30-ish, who came in one night to clean up the register or whatever. And I told him, I confided in him, I said, listen, I feel really bad because your dad thinks that I'm a porno star. And he keeps letting me drink for free, except I'm not a porno star. And the son said, hey, look he's like on his deathbed. He's like 70 years old. Who cares? Let him have some fun.
Yeah, if he thinks you're a porn star, what the hell? Be a porn star. Who did he think?
What the heck?
Did he say?
I'm not going to actually do that. No, I'm not going to actually be the porn star. But I did. So anyway, I get to try a lot of whiskeys that way. So I know what some things are, and that's why I really don't have any idea what they cost. I've been drinking free for a long time. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Good for you. You can't see me right now, but in Facebook and YouTube, I am saluting you right now. So
did I make you blush?
No, hell no. I salute you for doing that. I mean, that's the way to maneuver things. Okay, now in chat,
but I was honest about it. I have to, right? So
why not? Why not? Now, Whiskey Dale says, "What about Pappy Van Winkle?" Because I have a story about Pappy Van Winkle. Have you ever,
that's
had
what I
any of that?
had. Yeah, that's what I had at this bourbon tasting club that I just joined over here, and that was the last one, and I didn't care for it. I don't know if it's because I had the Bullet. I had the Bullet bourbon, then the Bullet rye, and then that one, and I just didn't like it. I couldn't finish that one. Isn't that weird?
The thing that I can tell you about Pappy Van Winkle is when what is it, Bevmo or something like that. Bevmo apparently gets packages of this stuff, and if you're in the know in Bevmo or whatever the beverage companies are, You have a friend on the inside who knows when the shipment of Pappy Van Winkle is coming. And a bunch of guys in patrol used to work for me, and they would know when it was coming in. I guess you pay, I don't know, $100, $200, $250, $300 for a bottle of this stuff. And we had deputies lining up for bottles of this stuff, and I find it very interesting that now you're saying, essentially, that Pappy Van Winkle is bear piss.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the other people liked it, and apparently it had a fantastic story to it, which I love stories.
Well, they had a ton of stories about waiting in line to buy this stuff, but we're going to have to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some politics. Cool. Okay, not tonight on the way home, because there's a place where I think I can probably get some bullet on the way home, but probably tomorrow. I think you guys have convinced me. I'm not a whiskey guy. I'm not a scotch guy. I'm not a dark liquor guy. But you know what? Tonight, maybe, or tomorrow, I think I'm going to stop by, have some bullet, or buy some bullet, I should say. And I should theoretically have a report for everyone this coming Thursday when I come back. Because let me ask you finally, because I'm 1 minute overdue for a break. But let me ask you this: when I drink bullet, am I going to find that it's nice and smooth? Is that what I'm going to find?
It was so smooth, and it was so good. I just had to sniff at it. It smelled beautiful. It was sweet, and it was really smooth.
Okay. All right.
You're going to love it.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to go get some either tonight.
Don't get the rye. Get the bourbon. Make sure you don't get the rye. The rye you'll choke on, and your mouth will be on fire.
Okay, so get the bourbon. Okay.
You'll be cursing us with a mouth of fire.
Okay. Well, I don't want mouths of fire for any reason whatsoever.
No, that's not even a good thing. We don't want that to happen.
Very bad thing. Folks, we are listening to the East Coast Political Goddess. A half hour has gone by. We are listening to Kari Baxter Donovan. Don't you damn go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hey guys, it's Sackhead Clint. I'm excited to tell you about a brand new show here on the SHR Media Network. I'm teaming up with the one and only all-powerful, the bloviating Zeppelin sitting here to my left, bringing to you a fresh new show here on the network. It's Against Tyranny. And we'll be picking up where the Sackheads left off. Excited to be with you, sir.
Sackheads against tyranny.
We're going to chat. We're going to chat Wednesday nights.
S-H-A-T.
Sackheads Against Tyranny.
Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Oh, it's the same time, right? 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
Same SAC time, same SAC channel.
Yeah. SHRmedia.com.
See what I did there?
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Hey, BZ. So the plan's working. You got rid of Sacco. Sean is now stepping away.
I never even saw him.
And I know, and insidious. You know, we talked about this for for the last 3 years, and finally coming to fruition.
You know, I'm still in the room, right?
It's almost like he's here still. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's amazing. It's kind of
at you.
It's kind of eerie.
Kind of a poltergeist.
Like a poltergeisty thing.
Yeah, sackheads against tyranny.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Well, folks, it's the first hour. The first hour. Oh, wait, no. What the hell am I talking about? It's the first half hour. Good God, don't push things so quickly. It's the first half hour of the show. And we have the honor and the privilege of talking to Kari Baxter Donovan, who is the East Coast political goddess right here, live and direct on the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show on shrmedia.com. You want to chat? There's a bunch of people in the chat room right now. Go to shrmedia.com. And I got a few things to say. Whiskey Dale, props to you. Now, you guys may not know this. Oh, shoot, I forgot to turn back on the camera so people can see. Okay, there we go. Camera's back on. Whiskey Dale, I have to tell you, thank you ever so kindly. You may not know this. Whiskey Dale, because it's the Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Whiskey Dale sent me a Bobcat. No, I shit thee not. Whiskey Dale sent me a complete stuffed Bobcat in this massive box that's about the size of like a 1975 Buick Century. And so I missed the delivery initially, and so I went to the post office quick like a bunny, got it, picked it up, came back, and number one, it's packed with all these little, what the hell do you call them? The little white styrofoamy thingies. This thing is packed. Oh, they're peanuts. Okay, I forgot. That's right. They're called peanuts.
Peanuts. Mm-hmm.
And this thing is ass overloaded with all these peanuts, and to get it out, the wife and I had to go into the garage, put a big tarp on the floor, and pull it out because I knew that the second I pulled this sucker out, all those peanuts are going to flow over like crazy onto the floor, which is exactly what they did. But my God, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. So, Whiskey Dale, thanks to you. Once I figure out where I'm going to put this thing, because I can tell you right now, I thought maybe, okay, see where the license plate is right now on Facebook or the YouTube if you happen to be watching? I thought, oh, Bobcats are pretty small. It'll fit right behind me, and I'll take down the license plate, and I'll be able to put up the Bobcat right there. Oh, no, hell no. This thing would take up all the space behind me, and I mean all of it. This is a beautiful stuffed Bobcat, so thank you, Whiskey Dale, for that. Oh, and Whiskey Dale says, I shot that Bobcat myself just northwest of Houston, and he says a big plus to the Bobcat, of course, is that no litter box is required. And I have to say exactly that. Now, in the break, we were talking in chat. Let me go up here a little bit. And, Traveling Cynic said during chat, he said, I said in chat, okay, well, I'm going to go out and get some bullet. Traveling Cynic said, buy a lime, sir. And I said, okay. And Kari said, buy the bourbon, not the rye. And I should buy a lime. And I asked him, how should I apply the lime? Now what, to my nipples? Is that what I do with it? Because I've never had it before. And, of course, that was a terrible visual. And he said, could be a lemon as well. Twist the skin into the drink. So is that what you would do? Kari Baxter Donovan, twist the lemon or the lime
That is, see?
into
you have
the
smart
drink.
Guess. Yes.
Okay, so
you have smart guess.
So that's it. That's exactly what I should do. Okay, all right. I'll do exactly that. Twist the lime or the lemon into the drink. Oh, hey, Simone's in chat. Great to see you, Simone. So we got a very nice house. Whiskey Dale, Mike, Traveling Cynic, and Simone. Great to see everybody in chat. Now, since we've talked about whiskey and we've talked about nipples, perhaps it's time to ask a question. And I threw it out on a poll today, and I'll ask the folks in chat, since you're here and you're sort of a captive audience. Jersey Joe vacated his slot, which began at 6 p.m. Pacific, which was 9 p.m. Eastern. And since that slot is open, I've been thinking of moving my show earlier, 2 hours earlier. So instead of starting at 11 p.m. Pacific, now it would start at 9 Eastern, starting at 11 p.m. Eastern. Now it would start at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'm just curious, if I start the show 2 hours earlier, would that be an attraction to anybody in particular? Let me know. You can send me a little message either here in chat, or you can send it to me in Twitter at BZEP, B-Z-E-P, or you can send it to my email, bz@shrmedia.net. And I'm just kind of curious. I've been thinking about it. If some people are interested, then I may move the show up a couple of hours. I have the opportunity at this point, and it may attract some more viewers. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. So
I think you definitely should.
You think I should? Do you think that I would get
Because
some
then
more?
I can come on more often too.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, because right now you're. Let's see. We do have our East Coast clock up there, and it says 23:42, which means it's 11:42 right now for you.
Yeah,
because
it's all about me. So
Really?
Well,
yeah.
No, but I think you would. I'm an American woman.
But
no, I do think you would get a wider range in your audience, and I think you could promote it. People like to listen live, I think, as opposed to going and listening to the podcast. So I would think that would be successful for you.
I think at this point I get more people listening in podcasts than I do. I'd be curious if I'd attract any more folks. But you seem to think that, okay, a couple hours earlier would be beneficial. All right. Okay.
Yeah, because I think you would. I think my theory, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I just make stuff up as I go along. But I'm thinking if you promoted it as, hey, listen live, and it's 9 o'clock, that you would get more people. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'm mulling it over. I got to talk to Sackhead Sean about it. We're still trying to fix the phone system and get that system working. My ultimate goal is for, like today, I played 2 cuts. Both of them you didn't hear. So in podcast, you're going to hear a song that I played that I didn't mention on the air at all, but I played it behind you. And I also mentioned another cut that I made for you as an intro. I want the guests, obviously, it's a logical conclusion, to be able to hear what it is that I play. If I play an audio cut of somebody speaking, I want the guests to be able to hear it and then react to what it is that I'm playing, which is
Sean should be able to fix that. Come on, Sean, what is he, working or taking care of kids or something? What's going on with that?
We're trying. We're really trying. I don't know if we're definitely there yet, but we're on our way. And the other thing is, if this gets going, I really want to start doing some conference calling in chat. Everybody is asking.
And but hey, look at how far you guys have come in the last year is amazing, with the Facebook and lives popping up and YouTube. So you should pat yourselves on the back. And Sean should be able to figure that out.
Thank you. You're so nice.
But you guys have done a great job. Really, you have. And your promotions are the best.
Traveling Cynic, we're going to change gears just for a second, and we'll be right back. The acid from the skin takes the edge off the whiskey. And then Whiskey Dale says, hey, what are you going to do for a name? Simone says Robert. Whiskey Dale says Robert J. Cat. Simone says RJ. RJ. That I kind of.
So I have something for Cynic.
Okay.
Here's the thing about the edge, and you can check this out on my Facebook page too. The edge. It's kind of, it's an interesting topic because the only people who know where the edge is are the ones who have gone over.
Right. That exceed it.
I got that from Hunter Thompson.
Yes.
I looked at it.
Yeah, or the envelope. Pushing the envelope. That's where that came from.
Ah, right.
Like
Gonzo journalism.
Traveling Cynic says, by the way, if I am on the East Coast, I'm in bed at 11 o'clock, so yeah, it's late. It's late for everybody. That's what I'm discovering is most of my listeners aren't on the damn West Coast. Most of them are on the East Coast. I have very few listeners on the West Coast. So theoretically, Sean and I have a lunch every Wednesday. I'm going to be sitting down with him possibly for lunch, and we'll chat about it. And I'm thinking, okay, I might go ahead and do that. Hey, but enough about me. It's all about you, and that's why you're here. You wrote a couple of articles most recently. Michigan candidate for Governor Colbeck attacked for concerns about Muslim Brotherhood. And then there was another one that where Mike Pompeo, who is now the Secretary of State, having replaced Rex Tillerson, is saying he validates Iran is lying, and we have known that for a long time. Maybe you could talk to us about that aspect of Iran, Barack Hussein Obama, the deal we did, and the most incredibly revelatory video that we watched that was released by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who said in a nutshell, Iran is lying. 3 words, Iran is lying.
Yeah, so the whole thing with Iran, wow. I mean, it's like, how long did we have to survive on rumors and just using our pure logical minds to figure out what the heck Obama was doing and John Kerry and his administration? What were they doing exactly with Iran? And bring up all of these bizarre, treasonous behaviors. But we would get little dribs and drabs about, plane loads of, cash going and things like that. And now we find out, oh yeah, it looks like basically they have all of these nuclear reactors, which the American taxpayers have paid for.
Yes.
When it comes down to it, bottom line. And why, did he do it because he's crazy, or did he do it because he's stupid, or did he do it because he was scared? I don't know. Obama, again, we find out that he was basically, enabling, and that's a term that comes out of alcoholism that I'm using on purpose because I think that these people are all maniac addicts. They're so crazy, and they're just, they're addicted, I think, to power and to, just whatever they can. They're not thinking of a civil society or people's lives. And so, we're finding out right now a lot of things about Iran that are going to be really hard, I think, to grasp, which is basically, we, the American taxpayer, paid for nuclear reactors to attack, it looks like, Israel, right, to get it lined up. And do you remember when the Democrats refused to go and attend when Netanyahu gave his speech? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They were
absolutely against Israel, this little winky country surrounded by evil on every side except the Mediterranean.
And it's like all their brains are just mush or something. And so I was watching this week with President Trump in Michigan, and he was, talking about, he's dealing with China, and he's dealing with Iran, he's dealing with Germany, he's dealing with all these people. And when he mentioned Angela Merkel, and people started to boo, and he said, no, wait a minute. Now, I don't, and he's said this before, but it really hit home to me in the framework of Iran. He said, I don't blame Germany and in China for taking advantage of American politicians and for getting the best deal for their countries, because I want the best deal for my country. But basically he said it's the fault of the people who are in office, and it really hit me for some reason. It took all this time to say they're stupid. Maybe they're not evil. Maybe they're not crazy, but they're definitely stupid. And that's what he's saying. They couldn't negotiate a deal. They couldn't, take care of these things and think of other people. We elect the most selfish, self-centered maniacs. And now we're really going to find out with Iran and what they've been doing. And I trust Netanyahu. No, I trust Netanyahu over Iran. Call me crazy, but they're capturing their own women and killing them for not wearing headscarves. So, they're not in my column of people I'm going to trust.
We knew this for years. We absolutely knew this for years. For a while, Michael Savage said that essentially liberalism is a mental disease. I wouldn't necessarily go that far, although there are times when I certainly wonder, with all the crazy things that are going on in this state that are documented day by day by day. And if you want to hear really something ridiculously stupid, boy, am I going to tell you a story after the top of the hour about something that occurred to Jerry Brown. However, having said that, of all the people that don't understand the true nature of humanity, when they're the first ones to tell you that they believe they really do, leftists don't. They don't understand the frequent inherent evil within people, and they think that giving folks another chance and another chance and another chance is a smart policy in his book. I still cannot believe that Barack Hussein Obama thought it was a good idea to say that he had strategic patience and that he didn't mind drawing a red line, talking about it, and then backing up absolutely nothing. And he also said,
and see, I think
leading from behind. Leading from behind is a phrase a child would come up with. A 5-year-old would come up with that phrase.
That's a good part. That's a good part of it. Is that he has a mind. He had the mind of a child. But also it was the ideology. He's comfortable in the ideology of Iran, and of where it's uncomfortable for us. It's very comfortable for him. He can just slide right in, and he's very comfortable. And discussing these things are not things that he would reject. So that's part of it. And Americans knew that. And we've known it for a long time that he is, he was raised by people with this Marxist ideology.
Yes.
I wrote 3 articles this week that I think are sort of connected on the same sort of axis. One of them was about John F. Kennedy and his secret society speech, and the other one was the one that you referenced about Michigan. And they both are about people who are in charge, who have power and authority over us, who have absolutely no idea what they're doing and are probably megalomaniacs. Not only are they stupid, but they're power hungry and they're greedy and they cannot be satisfied. It goes from, how long have we known about Iran and the problems that we face? Well, we've probably known about it since the beginning of the country. It's the same people who want to, it's all about power, right? It's all about seeking power. It's the same type of personality, same makeup. They might not call themselves Islam or Iran or whatever, but it's so I'm sure that we've known about Iran having a problem with us for a long time, and I don't think that they knew about Obama paying for nuclear reactors with taxpayer money until he actually did it, right?
To think of something like that occurring, that literally right out of a Robert Ludlum novel, we sent a C-17 packed with pallets full of cash, actual cash, in an aircraft, a United States Air Force aircraft, to Iran as a payoff. Negotiations Can anyone name me one negotiation conducted by Barack Hussein Obama which got anything up front at all for the United States of America? We didn't get anything on the front end. We pretty much didn't get anything on the back end. We gave pretty much everything away. So what was it that we actually received in terms of the negotiation prowess of Barack Hussein Obama except capitulation?
And see, what drives me crazy is I do know that he has the mind of a child. I do think he's partially retarded. But what I've been talking about for a very long time is, you know, the community organizing. I have a degree in community organizing. I was taught by the same professors that Obama had. My professors were first Handelinskis right over, you know, from Chicago to Kalamazoo, Michigan. I had the same professors, and I know, so I can tell you, I can guarantee you that part of it was his anti-American communist ideology.
Yes.
And it caused him to try to give away America, or to actually not try to actually give away America. And I remember talking to people when Obama was running for senator and telling them, this guy is a Marxist. This is what Marxism is. This is what he wants to do. And I mean, people called me names. I can't, you know, I had the Kanye treatment. I had that times 5 because I've been speaking out about Obama for a very long time. So I do know that he's retarded. I do know that he has the mind of a child, but he's also been fed this. He has been indoctrinated and fed this, you know, cultural Marxism. So it is also his beliefs, you know. But and then we can go to, is it because, you know, he was hurt when he was a child? I'm getting to the point I don't care anymore. I just want to throat punch him. I want to get him out of the picture. What he did was absolutely treasonous.
It was. I agree. He
has put a lot of us in danger. He has endangered the world. So, but that's also the American voter, a bunch of chuckleheads who put him in office and gave him that power.
That's very true.
So there's a lot of people who need to be held accountable, I think.
As I've said many times, there isn't any problem anywhere that can't be solved by one of two things, either 1, vodka, or 2, a throat punch. So thank you for confirming BZ's axiom of problem solving.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, that having been said, Barack Obama, you knew, I knew, all I needed to know about Barack Hussein Obama when I discovered, because I was a child of the 60s, I knew who these fucktards were. When I read that he sat cross-legged in the living room of Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dohrn, two members whose goal was to blow up America, and they were partially successful at that. And then when I discovered that his pastor was the wonderful Jeremiah Wright, again, that said essentially all I needed to know about Barack Hussein Obama. Americans are malleable, pliable people, generally very kind, generally very giving, and generally very naive and very ignorant, and always wanting to believe in the best of people, which is not a proper worldview these days. You might have gotten away. Well, no, actually, no. You should never and have never gotten away with that, because the world is a cruel place, and you need to realize that evil exists, and manipulators are out there in every fold, everywhere, every hour, every second of the day. Evil exists, and it enjoys it because it's fun, and moreover, evil is easy.
So I want to share this story with you about Colonel Ray Schrump. Have I told you this story before about Colonel Ray Schrump?
No.
I went to a POW event with him. Do I have time?
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so Colonel Ray Schrump was held in captivity. He was, I think, in the Korean War. I mean, this guy's got more medals and things. Oh, my gosh, if you look him up, Colonel Ray Schrump, he spoke at the Republican convention, 70-something, and he got a standing ovation. Everyone knew who he was at the time. And in his trials, he does not think very highly of John McCain. He's held longer than John McCain. Okay, and so I was with him at a POW event. I've traveled with him a couple of times. I've interviewed him, more friends. And so one day I was coming back from a POW event where there was another man who was held in the Korean War. And he was still so shaken by his traumas that he can't even talk about what happened to him without crying. He tried to tell me a little bit. He started crying, and then he stopped. Anyway, I was talking to Ray Trump, and he was driving me back to my car, and I was interviewing him a little bit, and we were talking about communism. And, some of the things that he went through, I only have a couple of minutes, so I can't really go into it. But you can imagine, right? You all know the things that they had to go through in these camps. He had a broken arm, and he was, being kicked around, and he tried to save people. He watched them die, be tortured, all kinds of things. He did not get the VIP treatment, okay? So I remember one day I was interviewing him and talking to him, and I said something about, Ray, and this man has had a tragic life after, too, and he's very Christian. He has a faith. He loves Trump. And I said, Ray, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it? And I have a picture on my Facebook page. He just gives me the thumbs up. He said, we had to keep communism out of America. And I thought to myself, these effers who are here right now, these spoiled little brats running around talking about communism and socialism, it's because they haven't gotten their butt kicked is why they think it's cool. Well, we have men, and people who have served, men and women who have served, who have gone to see things. They haven't lived in the lap of luxury like we have. And so, on one hand, maybe they need to get their butt kicked in order to really appreciate America. It's kind of sad, isn't it? And it just blew me away. He was just like, of course, it's America. That's what you do, right? And he knows that all of the people today are not appreciative of what he did and what other veterans have done. Isn't that sad? It just it really struck. It's one of those moments that it's never gonna escape me. The picture of him, it's on my Facebook page, of that thumbs up.
It's
I have another picture of a man and that was the other man who started crying. He got his fingers chopped off. He's saluting the flag with missing fingers. It's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken. Because I really love veterans, and I love being around the POWs especially, because it really makes me feel like, I can appreciate the America that they fought for. Does that make sense even?
No.
I'm hanging around these,
It makes complete sense. And those men, mostly men, some women, are almost gone. They are almost entirely gone. We have a minimum of 2 generations of Americans who have never really had to face true adversity at all, period, end of statement. And they think that the way America is today is the worst that it's ever been. And I lay that squarely on the lap of today's ill-educated high schools, junior highs, elementary schools, schools of alleged upper learning. I completely lay all those errors and mistakes of millennials, Gen Zers, on the laps of people that like to call themselves educators but are the furthest ever from that. I'm about 2 minutes over the break. Kari Baxter Donovan, tell us again, finally, where you write, where you can be found, and your social media, please.
So I'm at Happit, HAPPIT 1776 on Twitter, and on Facebook, Kari Baxter Donovan, and I'm at populouswire.com, and we have an excellent Facebook page. You got to check them out. They do a great job getting interesting stories up on the Facebook page, and I'll drop a couple stories over at Big League Politics. They're a lot of fun too.
Cool.
BigLeaguePolitics.com.
Next time we're going to get into more depth about your politics. However, that having been said, at least I received an excellent recommendation from you and everybody else in chat to go get some Bullet whiskey.
And I'll be following up with you to see how you like that.
Okay. All right. We'll come back.
Awesome.
Kari Baxter Donovan, the East Coast political goddess, thank you very, very much for being on the show tonight, madame.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Well, folks, that was Kari Baxter Donovan. She's going to go away. Thanks for whiskey chat, essentially. And you want politics? Oh, yeah. We're going to get some politics when we come right back. Don't go away.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads radio show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capitol, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hey guys, it's Sackhead Clint. I'm excited to tell you about a brand new show here on the SHR Media Network. I'm teaming up with the one and only all-powerful, the bloviating Zeppelin sitting here to my left, bringing to you a fresh new show here on the network. It's Against Tyranny. And we'll be picking up where the Sackheads left off. Excited to be with you, sir.
Sackheads against tyranny.
We're going to chat. We're going to chat Wednesday nights.
S-H-A-T.
Sackheads against tyranny.
Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Oh, it's the same time, right? 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
Same sack time, same sack channel.
Yeah. shrmedia.com.
See what I did there?
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Hey, BZ. So the plan's working. You got rid of Sacco. Sean is now stepping away.
I never even saw him.
And I know, and insidious. You know, we talked about this for, for the last 3 years. And finally coming to fruition.
You know I'm still in the room, right?
It's almost like he's here still. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's amazing. It's kind of
at you.
It's kind of eerie.
Kind of a poltergeist.
Like a poltergeisty thing.
Yeah, Sackheads against tyranny.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
I love this. I love the hell out of this. I should be talking over this. Because that's what it's made for. I just like that. Okay, I'm easily amused, perhaps way too easily amused, but while we're talking about amusement, perhaps now we should talk about GOPs and people in power, leftists in power. We were talking about that earlier with Kari Baxter Donovan and what leftists do when power gets to their head, including leftists of sort of a smaller nature as well. And when you encounter them, sometimes you find out just exactly how small they really are. This is an example of Gaup privilege gone bad. Now, for those who may not know, if you haven't listened to this show before, BZ considers a Gaup to be a guilty, overeducated white person, always a leftist, always has to be conciliatory to everyone because, well, they're guilty and they're a Caucasoid and they must bear the brunt of their Caucasoidedness. I guess that's kind of a new word, on their shoulders. So let's begin with the video documentation that I have for you. It's an audio cut. This is going to be a Gaup named Karen Turner. And you must remember, she's not Miss, but Commissioner. You know, the parenthesis, you witless, mindless drone. Oh, don't call me Miss. Does that kind of bring up, that reminds me a little bit of something like this.
Well, why has it been delayed?
Ma'am, at the LACPR is...
do me a favor. Could you say senator instead of ma'am?
Yes,
it's just a thing. I worked so hard to get that title.
Yeah, she's saying that to a brigadier general who is calling her ma'am out of respect, which Barbara Boxer doesn't really quite deserve. But anyway, enough of that. More about me. And, of course, Karen Turner. Some background to Karen Turner before I get to the audio cut. And this is from a news site called NJ.com, NJ, New Jersey. Video shows Port Authority Commissioner telling cops, "You may shut the fuck up." Flashing her commissioner's gold badge and boasting of her influence during a routine traffic stop involving her daughter, Karen Z. Turner, demanded to know why police had pulled the car over and why it was being impounded. Then she launched at a tirade against the two officers. By the way, all of it was captured on camera. Just remember these days, leftists, cameras can work both ways, okay? The video and a police incident report, both made public after requests by NJ, Advanced Media, and other news organizations, showed Turner apparently seeking to leverage her influence, talking about who she knew, and complaining that the police had ruined a holiday, a Gaup holiday weekend, with the stop of her daughter and three friends on rural Route 9W in Bergen County, that's New Jersey. Turner, 60, a Demorat lobbyist, shock of shocks, who served as the ethics, this is great, Schadenfreude, the ethics chair of the powerful bi-state agency, could not be reached for comment Tuesday, and the phone number of her Washington Public Affairs office has been disconnected. No one came to her front door when a reporter knocked on Tuesday. Tenafly Police Chief Robert Chamberlain, however, said he would let the video speak for itself. The Port Authority asked for comment, also referred back to the video. So without further ado, let's cue that video, okay, from NJ.com.
Hi, I'm Karen Turner. Hi, I'm a resident. There you go.
It's fine. I don't need that.
Okay, fine. I'm Karen Turner.
You're just here as the rider, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm here as a concerned citizen and friend of...
Now remember, it's her daughter that was stopped. She wasn't stopped. Apparently her daughter called Mommy, and Mommy comes over to respond.
...the mayor and been in Tenafly for 20 years. I take full responsibility for them. And what is the reason...
She knows the mayor. She knows the mayor.
...they were pulled over?
The driver has all the information. He'll tell you.
No. I need to know.
No, you don't need to know.
Okay.
We're not involved here. You're picking them up?
No. I'm involved. Trust me.
Well,
I'm
not
very
going
involved.
to tell you. He's the driver of the automobile. He's over 18. That's all you need to know.
Okay. If you can...
Okay, she's bubbling. You're challenging her authority. Oh, listen, it gets better.
You don't need to see credentials. Okay. You need a... If you can give me a little bit of space here.
Okay, now she needs to be on her podium, and she gestures away to her daughter and her daughter's friend, who was the actual driver of the automobile, a male, not even her daughter, and she moves them away because she's about to pontificate.
Are you a commissioner?
I am a commissioner. one of the commissioners, and I'm heading up.
Do you have an ID with that?
That is my ID, and that is my business card. I am the commissioner of the Port Authority, and I'm heading up over 4,000 police officers. Okay? So, if there's
Parenthesis, you need to stop this silly shit right
a
now.
problem, I think I have...
There's no problem.
Well, I think there's a problem.
An unregistered vehicle.
Okay, let's hear, why were they pulled over, first of all?
She has an unregistered vehicle.
Now, don't call me Miss. I'm Commissioner. Thank you.
Right. Don't call me Miss. I'm Commissioner. Don't call me Ma'am. I'm a Senator.
Yes.
Why would... So she has as much power as far as she's concerned as Barbara Boxer.
They pulled over.
All due respect.
Yep. Why
The
did
driver
they
will tell you.
No. I need
Yes,
to
ma'am.
know.
The car's getting towed now.
Why is the car getting towed?
Go ask him.
No. I'm asking. You're the person
Go ask
who's
him.
ordered it, and trust me.
Miss, this does not involve you 1%.
He called her Miss again.
Yeah, it does. It does, because I'm picking them up, and I'm offering to take responsibility for them, and you can't even tell me the charges. I'm also an attorney, so I think if you can't tell me...
Wait. I'm sorry, God. If I had a producer, I would be playing this right now. My God, if I only had a producer. Okay, here we go. And this is right after she says, and I'm an attorney. God, why don't I have a producer?
What is the problem?
That's fine.
Why is it such a difficult to just say why they're being pulled over and why the car's being towed?
Because everything has already been explained.
I know, but I know.
Why do you need to know?
Because this is impacting me, because I got 4 people who are coming back to my house, including people who live in New Haven attending Yale Graduate School, a PhD student, and I don't...
Oh, a PhD student! These guys should be quivering jello in front of her!
Why it's so difficult to say what the problem is. This is impacting me. On Easter Sunday, I got to take 4...
You have the temerity to disturb her on an Easter Sunday weekend, you bozos, you groundlings, you serfs, you commoners. Bleh, I spit at you.
I'll be honest.
Back to New
I'll be honest
Haven.
with you. Should I be frank with you?
Yeah, I want to know what the problem is.
It's more of the way you just approached me and your demeanor.
You know what? Okay.
I'm being honest with you.
I want to know why.
I just don't appreciate your demeanor.
I don't
You're being
appreciate...
very demanding with me.
No, I'm asking you a question which is not being answered.
But it doesn't need to be answered. It's irrelevant.
Okay. You know what?
If you'd like to read my report, you can come down to the police department records on Monday, and you can get a copy of it.
And you can't...
Uh-oh. He's treating her like anybody else.
You have no right to know what's going on.
No, I do.
Explain to me why.
Because these are 4 people that I have...
Okay, as you can see, it goes on like this, on and on and on, for 8 minutes. If you want to go and listen to the whole thing, it's on YouTube. But here's what happens afterwards. This is from NJ.com again. The headline goes like this. Port Authority cites profoundly disturbing conduct in resignation of commissioner. Ooh, did BZ just say something enticing? Yes, he did. Karen Z. Turner, a Demorat lobbyist from Tenafly, has resigned as a commissioner from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey after an investigation was opened into what agency officials would only describe as profoundly disturbing conduct. Officials would not disclose the circumstances, but 2 sources with knowledge of the investigation said it involved her intervention in a recent traffic stop in connection with her daughter. Both said Turner apparently flashed her Port Authority badge in an effort to intercede with police officers on the scene, and you heard part of it right here. Sadly, the officers involved did not cower under her loomingly masterful mega powers, where clearly others had on prior occasions involving the exercising of her ubiquitous supremacy, which must be recognized here and now, but evidently wasn't. The story continues. In a statement on Monday morning, the agency said the Port Authority has 0 tolerance for ethics violations. Stop! Do you remember what she was? One of her jobs was for the Hillary Clinton campaign? Ethics. She was the ethics meister for Hillary Clinton, and now she got her arse booted. She resigned for ethics violations. Again, Schadenfreude. I damn well love this. This is the basis of the tough systematic integrity reforms that the Port Authority has implemented over the past year. Immediately upon learning of allegations that Commissioner Turner violated the board's newly enacted Code of Ethics, an Inspector General investigation was begun. The investigation revealed conduct that was profoundly disturbing. Stop. How did they discover that it was profoundly disturbing? Oh, that's right. It was on video and audio that the police turned over and made available to the public. After Commissioner Turner became aware of the investigation, she resigned. Even before the announcement, Turner's name and photo had already been removed. Oh, this is so good, I have to read it again. Kind of gives me the willies. Even before the announcement, Turner's name and photo had already been removed from the Port Authority website. Unfortunately, sadly, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. This is what one would customarily term a standard leftist, abject, elite Gaup fail. The only differences, okay, between this and thousands of others a day is that this one was caught on camera, and shock of shocks, there were actual consequences. Now, I'm not going to explain what Schadenfreude is. You should look it up, and you should be facile in that word and be able to use it yourself and throw it out with ubiquity in your own conversations with leftists day and night, day after day after day, because this was only the first of three. I hope I have enough time to give you all three stories. This was number one, because the second one involving Governor Jerry Brown, oh, you're going to love the living fuck out of this. Okay, I'm sorry, 25 cents in the hat. What was that, 3 times, 4 times? I'm cutting down at least. I'm trying to cut down. Maybe it'll result in a loss of weight, too. I'm not sure. It's about Schadenfreude. Go look it up. And Jerry Brown. Now, California Governor Jerry Brown, he decided back in 2015 that he was going to live in the original governor's mansion in downtown Sacramento, California. And that's located at 1526 H Street. That's between 15th and 16th Streets. And that's where his father, Edmund G. Pat Brown, used to live when he was governor in the 1960s. So Dad was a governor, and Jerry Brown has been governor twice for the state of California. The mansion issues, by the way, are fairly obvious if you ever looked at a picture of it. There's no real fence around it, per se. There's maybe a 3-foot fence around the whole thing. So anybody can hop the thing. The portico, there's a portico on the west side. That's what provides whatever real security may exist for that residence. Plus, there's the CHP DPS, which is the Dignitary Protection section of CHP. And there are those fixes and features that you might guess are present on the grounds. And, of course, I'm not going to go into it because I have a pretty good idea what they are, and nor should I go into what kind of situations and equipment exists in and around the governor's mansion. Now, with that orientation and background in mind, let's get into the gist of the story. And I got this from KFIA, AM 1640. And the title, the headline goes like this. You're going to like this. Homeless man arrested after walking into Governor Jerry Brown's residence. A 51-year-old homeless man is in jail today after he allegedly walked into Governor Jerry Brown's mansion on H Street in Sacramento. A 51-year-old homeless man is in jail, according to the CHP. Stephen Seeley, that's the guy, Stephen Seeley, was arrested for trespassing. Remember that. Trespassing on the executive residence property, breaking a side window on the first floor of the residence. Now, Seeley told the Sacramento Bee, which is the local major leftist newspaper in Sacramento, that he entered the historic governor's mansion without any interference from Brown's security detail that was apparently on site throughout the entire incident. The homeless man told reporters he spotted, you're going to like this too, he spotted some wild animals. Was it a bobcat? Possibly lions or cougars on the streets of Midtown Sacramento. He says he walked through the door of the mansion to warn Brown's security detail because he knew they had big guns. Seeley is partially correct, okay? Now, CHP's DPS, they do have guns. Perhaps not, big, like 50 caliber big, just clanking around the hallways, but certainly of sufficient size and heft to perform an adequate task right there at the mansion. But, okay, here's where it becomes interesting. Seeley says he entered Brown's residence to help prevent the governor from being attacked. I was looking for the security staff, but I didn't see anybody, Seeley said Thursday. I thought the governor was in trouble. I thought he was in danger of being attacked by wild animals, so I walked in. I yelled, "Jerry!" Wow, why wouldn't you yell Jerry? Seeley says that after he walked inside and didn't see anyone, he heard muffled roaring and hid inside a small room or closet. He then left through a window in that room that led to a fenced-in yard, breaking the window and cutting himself in the process. The information that I have is that they were trying to close in on him, and he literally jumped through a window, and that's how he cut himself rather severely. So he did this out of love for our governor. Now, that is one selfless act, if you ask me, and he tells us so here, because here a reporter talks to this guy Seeley right in our local main jail.
Lives across the street from the governor's mansion in Midtown Sacramento says he walked into the mansion through a side door after becoming frightened outside.
Open door policy guy, so I figured the door would be unlocked, or else I wouldn't have ran over there if I thought the door would be locked.
51-year-old Stephen Seeley says he heard a large wild cat coming from a garbage can nearby.
Yep. Yeah, see, he even does it. It's a wildcat. Well, what the hell? It could be a bobcat.
Kind of a deep growl,
Deep growl.
Hoping to get away, he says he ran into the mansion looking for Governor Jerry Brown's security team.
I thought I would have ran into at least one of them. I was hoping so because they had the gun.
Right.
He says once inside, he couldn't find anyone, and the growling continued.
I can't get away. I'm in a little broom closet. So the only thing to do was to dive through the window. So I dove through the window to get away.
The incident happened April 19th when Brown's wife was inside. In a statement to KCRA3.
Okay, remember that fact as well. His wife, Jerry Brown's wife, Ann Gust, was in the residence at the time that this occurred.
News, a CHP spokesperson says the First Lady was on an upper floor of the residence when the incident occurred and had no contact with the subject. No force was used or required by officers.
You know why that is? 'Cause he got away.
After cutting his arm during the escape, Seeley says a Good Samaritan took him to the hospital. It wasn't until 2 days later that he was booked at the county jail.
But wait, when I say, but wait, there's more, you ought to be listening very carefully, because that means BZ has the rest of the story. And that's it. Now, Seeley walked back out to the street looking for help, asking multiple passers-by for help, calling 911. Eventually, this couple pulled over and they took him to the hospital where he underwent surgery, and then he was subsequently arrested. 2 days later. But there's just a wee bit of schadenfreude involved in this situation for any number of reasons, and I'm going to go right through them one by one. The first is, okay, it was a homeless man. California loves its homeless. Wait, until they actually threaten someone important to the state, certainly not you or me. Second, it was a mentally unhinged individual who felt compelled to enter the mansion due to the presence of lions or cougars. Okay, the four-footed variety. Okay, shame on you. Outside. California loves its unhinged. Oh, wait, until it doesn't and they actually threaten someone important to the state, certainly not you or me. Third, Governor Brown became, I have this on good info, Governor Brown became absolutely apoplectic himself, and he threw camshafts and went 210 over 190 when he discovered that his wife, Ann Gust, was actually present in the mansion when this occurred on April 19th. to the point that he demanded the guy be arrested for a felony and that he do prison time for having conducted this kind of a crime, this terrible assault, and his wife could have been injured, killed, hurt in some fashion. She was in some form of jeopardy. Oh, hang on. I'm going to go over the break because I want to finish this. Hang on. It gets better. Okay? Fourth. And you're going to love this one. Remember Jerry Brown wanted him to get arrested for a felony, do prison time? That didn't happen. Now, remember, the homeless nutcase was officially arrested for trespassing, okay? Which in California, that's a misdemeanor. That's just above an infraction, which is what you have when an officer issues you like a traffic ticket. Fifth, up to a few years ago, this man could have been charged with an actual felony, 459 PC, burglary. That's a felony in the state of California, but because of measures and propositions, Jerry Brown's lovingly inspired Propositions 47 and 57 in this specific case, voted upon by politicians and the electorate, authorities know that in today's California environment, the intake DA, the district attorney, is going to larf his or her arse off, but upon seeing the report cross their desk. Hence, the misdemeanor charge of trespassing. That's 602 PC. All because of Jerry Brown-sponsored leftist initiatives and laws to adjudge arrestees much less harshly because of the challenging environments they encountered as harmless and innocent children. Okay, so to that I say, Governor Brown and Schadenfreude, table for two, please. This is the stuff you created, Jerry.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads radio show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capitol, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
When dirty politicians, shadow governments, and deceptive Islam blind the world with fake stream media smoke, their only fear is one man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me through shrmedia.com, highplainstalkradio.com, and the Western Free Radio Network at Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes for a different perspective weekly on the Unpleasant Blind Guy. And catch me on Jeff Mitchell's EDL Radio on blogtalkradio.com. There's
no surrender ever.
Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hey guys, it's Sackhead Clint. I'm excited to tell you about a brand new show here on the SHR Media Network. I'm teaming up with the one and only all-powerful, the bloviating Zeppelin sitting here to my left, bringing to you a fresh new show here on the network. It's Against Tyranny, and we'll be picking up where the Sackheads left off. Excited to be with you, sir.
Sackheads Against Tyranny.
We're going to chat. We're going to chat Wednesday nights. Sackheads Against Tyranny.
Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Oh, it's the same time, right? 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
Same SAC time, same SAC channel.
Yeah. SHRmedia.com.
See what I did there?
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
Hey, BZ. So the plan's working. You got rid of Sacco. Sean is now stepping away.
I never even saw him.
And I know, and insidious. Insidious. You know, we talked about this for, for the last 3 years, and finally coming to fruition.
You know I'm still in the room, right?
It's almost like he's here still. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's amazing. It's kind of
at you.
It's kind of eerie.
Poltergeist.
Like a poltergeisty thing.
Yeah, sackheads against tyranny.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Well, this is it. This is the final segment tonight on the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct from the SHR, the palatial and sumptuous SHR Media Studios, 2 miles away from the locus of evil on the entire left coast, possibly the entire nation. The capital of the state of Fornicalia, Sacramento, the Bill Mill, that away west of where I sit right now. Earlier tonight, we had Kari Baxter Donovan on. Thank you, Kari, for being on. I talked about 2 articles that had a great deal to do with Schadenfreude. One was with Jerry Brown. This one is going to involve the state of Fornicalia itself. Earlier in the show, we also spoke to Kari Baxter Donovan about whiskey, and if I have half a sack, I'm going to stop at the store on the way back and see if they have bullet whiskey. And she told me, get the bourbon, don't get the rye, because you'll pay for it, BZ. So I'll make sure that I get the bourbon and not the rye. I may actually try it tonight. I'm just not a dark alcohol kind of guy. Who knows if this is really smooth? I may become convinced. But in any event, that doesn't stop the buttery political goodness that I throw out to you guys every Tuesday and Wednesday night right here on the SHR Media Network as you're in the saloon, BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show. With luck, I'm going to have at least photographs of the Bobcat. I got to figure out now, this is an actual studio. I can't turn the camera around, but this is an actual studio in which I broadcast. It's no one's bedroom. So there's all sorts of stuff here, and I've got a bunch of walls, and I'm trying to figure out, my God, this Bobcat was so huge, Whiskey Dale. And where am I going to put this thing? But it's gorgeous. So thank you from the bottom of my clotted little heart. You know, my factory-issued heart attack is about this far away, as well as a bunch of other things. And if I cack tomorrow, oh well, I've done some crazy shit in this life, and proud of most of it. Some of which I'll never tell anyone, because that's just the nature of PZ, because I have really screwed with a lot of people in my life. Of course, a lot of people have screwed with me, so it kind of all evens out in the end. Schadenfreude and the state of California. As a precursor, I just told you about Schadenfreude and Jerry Brown. And you know how that kind of came back and bit him in the ass. Well, it comes back to bite the state of California and in the butt as well. We begin with this article from the Sacramento's revered leftist news source, the one I used to work for in the 70s, the Sacramento Bee. Left of center, then hard port these days. Arr, matey, hard port, where the Sacramento Bee are. Blood, syringes, feces. Caltrans workers seek protections for clearing homeless camps. Never saw that coming. The subtitle of that ought to be probably like, okay, after all, somebody's got to clean this stuff up. Under a freeway overpass, beneath a busy bridge, the ragged tents and shopping carts multiply, communities of human beings glimpsed in the rearview mirrors of passing motorists, like me, going to and from this studio every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, or any time that you get into an automobile on almost any roadway in Sacramento. The homeless have every intersection, damn near every intersection in Sacramento, marked out, staked out, so they can stand at the veritable corner right behind the light of the left turn lane and hold their hand out for free, their tax-free money. You give them tax-free money. Oh, and trust me, they have their own corners. Anyway, the job often falls to the California Department of Transportation to clean up these homeless encampments, but highway workers have now drawn their own line in the sand. Wait until you hear why. Last week, the union representative representing Caltrans maintenance workers filed a grievance against the department, contending that employees responsible for the massive cleanups are not being adequately protected. Well, this is the state of California, BZ. How can employees, state employees, not be adequately protected in the leftist utopia of California? How is that possible? In many instances, workers are not given appropriate protective gear, vaccinations, training, or enough compensation for the, quote, dangerous hazmat duties they're performing on Caltrans property, according to the grievance filed by the International Union of Operating Engineers Unit 12. California not perhaps living up to its idyllic utopian goals? No, not IUDs. Come on, get your minds out of the gutter. IUGs, come on, sheesh. It's extremely hazardous. It's extremely dangerous, said Steve Crouch, the union's director of public employees, who filed the grievance. Crouch, who has spoken with numerous workers in the field, said he hears the same lament. We didn't sign on for this. And who could possibly have imagined a Caltrans worker signing on for what I'm going to regale to you in just a moment? Oh, but wait. Most certainly you did, simply by living in the People's Socialist Workers Freedom Liberation Republic Front of California. Did you ever sign up for this?
Has received notice and a formal grievance from its highway maintenance workers. They say they are sick, tired, and disgusted after cleaning up homeless camps.
KTVU's Tom Bakar spent the day in the middle of that controversy and joins us from an encampment on Caltrans property. Tom.
I wish you could see this.
Well, it looks like Caltrans finds itself between a rock and a hard place, that being the homeless and their own employees. Cleaning up homeless camps is often dangerous for the crew's task.
Because remember, the state of California loves and adores its homeless. It makes more of them, right? Of course it does.
With doing the job. Often the ground is a muddy, slippery, debris-ridden stew of things that are exceedingly sharp or dangerous to touch, such as potentially toxic or biologically unsafe materials.
Biologically unsafe materials. I wonder what that would be.
Feces and urine and feminine products and all kinds of things on the ground. Needles, syringes. They use, buckets, 5-gallon buckets for toilets. And it gets really disgusting.
And that is to say nothing of the open hostility that often comes from those being evicted.
Sometimes they have pit bulls in there. They'll, let the dogs loose to chase the Caltrans workers out. Sometimes they'll throw rocks at the Caltrans workers.
Add to that live electrical lines and even the occasional weapon. That's why the Caltrans Maintenance Workers Union...
But wait, this is California. It's not supposed to be like this. California is a utopia. Just ask any leftist.
The International Union of Operating Engineers filed an official grievance. Caltrans issued this statement today. Safety is a top priority for Caltrans, and we will carefully review the grievance.
Translated, oh my God, we got a grievance. Now who wins? Either our employees are going to win or the homeless are going to win. Wait, it can't. What? We don't want, somebody's got to lose. We can't have someone lose. This is a win-win state where everybody gets T-ball.
Their job is to maintain the highways and freeways. That's, filling the potholes. That's doing the striping of the lines. That's doing...
My God, I wish you could see this video. I wish you could see the kind of crap and shit, literally, that people are living in, and that these people have to clean up, these state employees.
The guardrails along the edge, that's trimming the trees and bushes and shrubs along the highway. Their job is not to clean up homeless encampments.
Clearly, the Caltrans workers have a point about their own safety. But we can clean up and clean out as many homeless camps as we want, but that's not getting at the root cause, the things that cause homelessness.
Stop. I just heard one of the Aliotos on Tucker Carlson tonight, and I think he's running for DA. Joseph Alioto, I think his name is. The Aliotos have been leftists in San Francisco literally for decades. One of the things the Aliotos said, though, tonight, I should say, on Tucker Carlson, is that leftists in San Francisco, at least, they put themselves in this situation, and they literally have no idea whatsoever how to extricate themselves from this, and it's a precarious position of their own creation.
Caltrans, the city of Oakland, the mayor, they need to get together like they're doing in little projects, little homes and stuff.
Until then, Melvin Sanford, on the street for 4 years now, says practically speaking, some dumpsters placed at camps would be used.
They will understand we put the garbage in there and wait for Caltrans to come pick them up, or the city come pick them up.
Now these days, the typical cleanup takes 2 to 3 days. That's right.
Listen to this again.
Right. And Caltrans says in the last 5 years it spent $30 million to clean up homeless camps. $10 million of that last year alone. Money that should have gone to highway and road maintenance.
Imagine that. If you're in California, like me, you're being fleeced. You're a California taxpayer, and you're being fleeced, and you're paying taxes on your taxes for your fuel bills to be used for highway projects and construction, and this money should have been going to Caltrans as well. Oh, but wait, like I say, BZ, but wait, it gets better. It has to. It's California. One Caltrans worker who was asked not to be named for fear of retribution said he has been involved in at least 6 cleanups so far this year. I've been exposed to blood, needles, women's feminine products, 5-gallon buckets of human feces, he told the Bee. Okay, let that roll around in your wheelhouse, in your brain theater for a minute, okay? His protective gear, he said, was, wait for it, 1 pair of gloves. And that's not really protective, he quickly added. No shit, Sherlock. It's really funky, and I'm putting this politely. It's extremely nasty. You never know what you're going to step in or on. And it's not cheap. But what hell, us California taxpayers, we're footing the bill. And the California taxpayers just don't seem to mind. As the other guy, the reporter, said, according to Caltrans' in-house publication, Mile Marker magazine, the department has spent $29.2 million cleaning up encampments since fiscal year 2012-2013. Caltrans estimated the bill in 2016-2017 to be more than $10 million, a 34% increase over the previous year, and involved all 12 regional districts. The rising costs coincide with California's growing homeless population. Now, why would California's homeless population be growing? Let's go back to the sign that we see in a zoo. Please don't feed the bears. Is that making sense to anyone at all? According to the most recent annual report by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, more than half of the nation's homeless individuals were found in 4 states: California, New York, Florida, and Texas, they said. Well, you know why they're in Texas. Hello, border. And California, New York, and Florida, wonderful, lucrative, well-paying welfare rolls. Here's another little tidbit as well. California, if you hadn't heard, I'll let you in on a little something. California was also found recently to have the worst quality of life in every state. It's 50th of all 50, or if you're Barack Obama, it's 50th, or excuse me, it's 58th in all 58 states. Why not? Why not? The greatest amount of filth and squalor as well. At least, California, at least it strives for some form of consistency.
We are the Golden State,
right?
A place for California dreaming. But now, from U.S. News and World Report, a harsh wake-up call.
No.
They say California has the worst quality of life of any state. That's right, their new report ranks us in 50th place.
You know what was almost as bad as California? California was 50th. You know which state was almost as bad, 49th? Oh, another leftist state, New Jersey.
Growing up on the East Coast, we all idealized California, and that was like the goal to live in California because you do have this perception.
It's like totally all of California.
That the quality of life is so much better. So
better?
that is really weird.
The study looked at both natural environment like pollution and toxins and social environment like community engagement and voter participation. North Dakota came in on top in this category.
Wait a minute. California doesn't have voter participation?
California came in right behind New Jersey.
In this ranking, we're looking at how states themselves are serving their citizens. We're not saying, how many days of sunshine a year.
California also had dismal rankings in other areas, 49th in both affordability and road quality.
It doesn't. Wait a minute. Road quality? We have spent in California literally billions of California taxpayer dollars to make these roads incredible. Jerry Brown and his crew in the Capitol, 2 miles that way west, decided that they were going to pass a bill in the dead of night, despite the fact that any bill to increase spending of this fashion needs to go before the electorate, and didn't. It hasn't. But they decided that gas, by the way, has gone up a minimum of 15 cents per gallon because of this. Vehicle registrations have gone up almost $175 per vehicle, and diesel per gallon went up 20 cents. Where's all this money going?
Feel great, but we also think it's a bad rap.
Brian Brennan of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group says the report doesn't take in some of the traditional quality of life measurements.
Right, it's a bad rap for California because the people that make $500,000 a year in San Francisco, $750,000 a year in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, it's not that bad.
However, he says their own just published report also found some signs of trouble.
More people are leaving our region here in Silicon Valley than are coming. This is the first time we've seen this in the 4 years.
I wonder why. Would that have anything to do with quality of life?
That we've done this report. So is this something we're going to be raising with policymakers? You bet it is.
For people like Juan Perez, the cost of living is impacting his quality of living.
Sometimes we have time to go enjoy that life we have, supposedly, and sometimes we can't, even if we want to.
There were some bright spots in the U.S. News and World Report findings. California was #1 in business environment, GDP growth, and public health. In their overall category of best states, California landed at 32. But it's that quality of life ranking that has some, even out-of-towners, shaking their heads.
And why would you bring kids to California, considering the quality of life? What a great educational experience it is to go down Bart's hallways and watch junkies shooting up and vomiting on each other. I can show you the video from that one. Wow, that's cool for your kids to see that stuff as they try to get onto a BART train.
Whoever wrote that report needs to do some reassessing. Maybe they should visit California. How about that?
The best state, according to the report, Iowa, followed by Minnesota and Utah. In San Jose, Ann Rubin, KTVU Fox 2 News.
Worst quality of life ever. State of California came in number 50th, 50. So, California is all about the environment, right? That's why they love their homeless and their mental defectives. For Caltrans, The typical camp cleanup takes days to complete, beginning with a notification posted at the site at least 72 hours before crews arrive. A recent mile marker article stated. Caltrans workers are escorted by state or local law enforcement and, in some cases, social workers and homeless advocates. Meaning, we advocate for homeless. We need more of them in the state of California. You're going to get your fucking wish. I'm sorry, quarter in a hat. In carrying out the cleanups, the department cites the camp's potential to damage highway infrastructure, contribute to community blight, and pose health and safety risks. According to Caltrans, materials routinely found include human waste, spoiled food, animal carcasses, broken glass, toxic chemicals, hypodermic needles, and weapons. All the things that your child needs to be exposed to for a full and robust knowledge of how life is actually conducted here in the state of California. Don't you think, really, that it's time for Caltrans workers to just be quiet? Really? Isn't it their duty to simply do the job and shut up? They should be thankful that the state of California deigned to give them gloves. It's California, man. It's a leftist utopia, man. Don't they get that? Union leader Crouch said he was not aware of any specific worker injuries, but noted that the potential is there. San Diego, for example, and this is absolutely correct. San Diego experienced a devastating hepatitis A outbreak last year that swept through the region's homeless population. How does that occur? Okay, come on. Let's get serious. All of this is just overblown. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with California that doubling down on all these great leftist policies and instituting even more and harder left policies won't fix, right?
Monsieur has been walked.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks for listening to the Bloviating Zeppelins Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show. Tonight, live and direct on the SHR Media Network. If you want to contact me, you can go to my blog at bloviatingzeppelin.net. I'm on Twitter at bzep, and my email is bz@shrmedia.com. My original intro music is by Possessed Tranquility. You can find them at reverbnation.com. Promotional consideration by the Lockheed Martin, Skunkworks, and the Boeing Company. If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. And Pratt & Whitney Engines. Thrust. You can trust. Thanks to my personal KC-135 Kettle One refueling team with whom I will be consorting in less than an hour, and maybe they'll get jealous. A little bullet? Whiskey? Thanks to Kari Baxter Donovan for being in the show tonight. Thanks to you for listening live. Thanks to you for being in chat. Thanks to you for listening in podcast. God bless, take care, be safe. Tomorrow night, Sackheads Against Tyranny. Sackhead Clint and Sackhead BZ. Be here. Aloha.
Everybody quiet down now and get some sleep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Ben.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night.
Good night, Jim Bob. Go to sleep.
Good night, and good luck.